What's poppin', y'all? Welcome to What You Mean Films. Today, I'm going to go over how the Green Bay Packers should attack this aggressive, skilled, and veteran Minnesota defense ahead of the Monday night game that is the game of the year so far for both teams. There's a lot on the line. If the Packers win this game, they clinch the NFC North. They've already clinched a playoff spot. And if they win out and a couple other things happen, they could get a first-round bye. The Minnesota Vikings, on the other hand, are playing without Dalvin Cook. Thielen is coming off of his hamstring injury, but they want this game and they're at home. All right, so we're going to get into all the ways I believe that the Green Bay Packers can attack this defense. Now, let's be clear. There's not a lot of ways you can attack this defense as a veteran group that has been around for a long time. Mike Zimmer be having these boys playing hard, fast, and they're extremely aggressive. But with that, there are little holes and little nuances that we can key into to show how the offense that the Green Bay Packers have can be successful against them. Let's get it. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are ranked 8th in run defense, okay? But with this being said, there are still gaps to be had versus this defense. They're very aggressive, and sometimes they get too far afield, leaving lanes for the running backs to cut back through, all right? There's perfect examples, especially throughout the first game, all right? You're going to see Everson Griffin. Often, he gets up. This man is powerful, okay? He's going to get upfield several times. But if he does this too early or too aggressively, it leaves a running lane, all right? And we have Aaron Jones. He's a very elusive, very explosive back. Although the numbers don't always say so, he's not like, top leading rusher of the league, but he can make plays. He's not going to get the 30 carries a game. He's going to get 10 to 15 carries. But if you do not play gap sound, young men will be able to get you, okay? Now, this Minnesota Vikings defense is super aggressive, so they will be flying downhill. They are known to be a little out of place just because they're so aggressive, not because they don't know what they're doing. Let's make that very clear, okay? But if you can get to that edge, you can get upfield. Their DBs are not the best tacklers, and sometimes their linebackers get too far upfield, okay? So once you break the line of scrimmage, boom, you can score, all right? Just like this here, okay? Also, understand, when you get tackled by these men, they are trying to get the ball out. So sometimes in that, you can break a couple tackles, okay? They are a very, very, very disciplined team, okay? So you got to take advantage of the opportunities. If you get to the outside, if you catch someone out of position, you have to take advantage of it. Because with a disciplined defense like this, all it takes is one play that can mess up the whole game, all right? Here you got it again. Aaron Jones just getting to the outside. All right, this might be a bit of a hold, but it wasn't called, okay? Nevertheless, he got sucked down into it, all right? Aaron Jones pops out for a great game, all right, versus the Seattle Seahawks. More the same, okay? They were running a little zone scheme right here, and bam, look at that gigantic gap, all right? Anybody could run through that. That is probably like a 7-yard gap between the tackle and the guard, and the running back's able to get upfield. He pauses the safety, and he runs through some arm tackles, okay? Here it is again. There's a cutback lane, all right? They squeeze. There's another gap between the guard and the tackle on the left side. Running back cuts back, drives his feet, all right? Here goes another play. Stretch, boom. Everson Griffin gets smashed on. They wham block him, all right? Not wham block, but crack block on him. The running back gets upfield, breaks the tackle, and gets out of bounds, all right? Now, one of the best ways to stop a good pass rush is screen games and run games. All right here, they're going to run a screen pass. The DBs all bail out because they think it's a shot play, and there's only one linebacker, Anthony Barr, who sees that there's a screen play. But it's him versus a lot of blockers, which allows the play to develop into something big. Here again versus Seattle, they run another screen pass, and it goes for a touchdown from 15 to 20 yards out, okay? We're going to look here versus Green Bay. This was week 2. This was early in the season, but still, it's been a theme. If you can get them in the screen game, in the passing situations, you have a better chance of defeating them, okay? Let's be clear. They're a fantastic team. They can stop the run. They're 8th in run defense, but they're 18th in pass defense, all right? I don't know why that is. Sometimes they're just out of position. Sometimes they're just a little too aggressive. Now, once you establish the run, you can pass. This play action here leaves the middle of the field wide open. Now, the linebackers do try to bail out late, but it's too late, all right? He gets his pass to DK Metcalf, gets upfield, first down, All right, we're gonna look at it again from different angles. We're gonna see that the play action is really, really hitting them because they're so aggressive. Okay, here the corner comes up. He flies up. This is his zone where the ball gets caught in. Anthony Barr luckily sees it, but that's where he's supposed to be at. All right. We're going to look here versus Denver. This game was wild. All right. Once again, the corner is biting up. He is vacating his zone. All right. And once you vacate your zone, people can't see that. That's a wide open throw, big play. It's just unacceptable. Once you get all these players in a box trying to stop the run, you leave one-on-one with the corners. Here, you're going to see it. Amari Cooper snaps off the corner and is able to come back to the ball because there's no one playing the flats because there are too many people in the box focused on the run. All right. You want one-on-one with these corners. Xavier Rhodes has not been playing like he usually does. I mean, this has been a pretty rough season for him. You're going to see here, he ends up one-on-one the receiver. The receiver runs a square in to a vacant zone, and it's just really an easy completion because of the play action. All right. Their pass defense, I will say again, is 18th. All right. So if we can get one-on-one with these DBs, which is the best way to do that is with play action, there will be vacant zones and there will be some one-on-one coverages that, I find favorable. Now, the Green Bay Packers have to make sure they can take advantage of that because it seems like our receivers they're hit or miss when it comes to these one-on-one, plays versus the DBs. The only one who seems to be consistently getting, open is, of course, Devontae Adams. Here we're going to see Amari Cooper, toe tap, drag, toe drag, swag, all that. All right. Scores a touchdown because he's one-on-one with the DB. All right. I advise that you do not try to throw in coverage versus someone, especially like Harrison Smith. But here he gets himself out of position. He likes to play with the DBs or play with the quarterback. All right. He gets himself out of position because he's too far downfield. So he's sprinting back and then he has to man turn all the way back around and he's out of position. All right. Here, another play action play. He's out of position, has to man turn again. And man turn, actually, that's a zone turn. Zone turn is when you flip your hips. Man turn is when you keep your hips open towards the receiver. All right, so he zone turns there, and he's out of position. It's a big play. All right, see here again, Xavier Rhodes manned up on Devontae Adams. You got a clear out route by Marquez Valdez-Scantling. All right, he takes two defenders with him, and it's one-on-one with Xavier Rhodes, and he is trailing Devontae Adams, who is not, a burner. I mean, he's fast, but he ain't no burner. And you getting burnt by Devontae Adams. Come on now. You're going to see here. Boom. He's beat. So what do you do when you beat as a DB? You grab. All right. Play action. And it's a PI. All right. You're going to see here. I mean, Xavier Rhodes has just had a difficult season. I mean, these are just tough. At this point, I don't know what has been going on with him. Roads have been open. All right. Now, I will say this. Don't get to playing with fire. All right. When everyone says that someone sucks and everyone says that someone is bad, believe that person does hear it. This is a prime time game. This man's family is going to be there. The whole state of Minnesota will be rooting against these Green Bay Packers. He going to show up. I truly believe he ain't finna go out sorry. He finna go out there fighting. It has been rough. He has lit up some big plays, and teams seem to be throwing at him left, right, and center, and it seems like the only thing he can do to even mediate any of that, is hold. I mean, their DBs altogether have been giving up big plays left, right, and center. I mean, you see here, jump ball versus Patrick. Who is this dude? It's not like they're always against big-time number one receivers. They're just out of position. They're not playing the ball correctly. They're too concerned with giving up the big play, like way downfield, that they're not playing when the receiver stops and comes back to the ball. Here, gets beat on the double move. He gets his eyes back on the quarterback. And if that's a better ball, that should be a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And look who's there. There's Harrison Smith. That's Xavier Rhodes. Those are Pro Bowlers at some point. They were both. Harrison Smith was Pro Bowler this year. All right? You have to get them on the edges of the perimeter of their defense. All right? I say that you attack their DBs. All right? Be very physical with them. Run double moves and be ready to make some contested passes, okay? But I will also say this. When you're going against a man like Harrison Smith, you might as well go at him. I believe that if you run in concepts away from him, trying to run away from him, he can really disrupt your play. You kind of treat him like an aggressive D lineman, or how they attack D linemen such as Aaron Donald. All right, when they run the ball, they run towards him because he will chase down every play. If you're throwing it away from Harrison Smith, I'm terrified that he's going to come across the field because you're not looking at him, and he's going to pick a pass off, okay? But I believe, even with all that being said, that the Green Bay Packers can be victorious if they pass the ball. They need to start off with a run, but they're not going to be able to run it consistently in my eyes. I don't think the Vikings just going to let you line up and run the ball, especially in Minnesota. They're going to be skull clapping, back slapping, and turning up all game. But, hey, if we can get one-on-one with these DBs, I think we can get the cheese and get what we need. You hear me? Let's go. All right. This game poses a very good opportunity for the Green Bay Packers. All right. I'm a diehard fan, but I'm also a very realistic individual. The Packers did get smacked by San Francisco. This is the team that we are trying to avoid. All right. And one of the best ways to do so is to get home field advantage. And the best way we can do that is win out. All right. A couple other things will have to happen, but if we can show that we can become a consistent team, that we can run the ball consistently, that our receivers can create separation, then we can show them that we are a top team in NFL. The 11-3 record, in my eyes, does not show that we are an 11-3 team. I feel like we didn't slip past a couple games and we got lucky, and Aaron Rodgers has also just done his magic, okay? But even with that being said, he hasn't had like a crazy year. He has a pretty mediocre season to his standards, all right? He hasn't thrown a lot of picks, but he also hasn't thrown a bunch of touchdowns. Now, this defense has been a little more opportunistic. They're more of a bend, don't break, but they're still not a top defense in the league, as we thought we were going to have in the beginning of the season, all right? They have had a lot of sacks. We have had more interceptions than we had in years prior, but we still struggle with stopping the run versus almost anybody. I mean, it seems like anybody can run the ball against us unless they're a really bad team. And over the last 2 weeks, our offense really hasn't been clicking. We played the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants, and it seemed like our offense was really struggling to do anything, all right? The Redskins just got almost 35 scored on them by the Giants, and we could barely conjure up anything versus them, and it became a game at the end because our defense let up a little touchdown. Now, with all this being said, our defense has the potential to lock up anybody. We have solid corners. We have solid safeties. We have a really good middle linebacker. We have a fantastic D-line and pass rushers. Sometimes I think that we just start feeling ourselves. When we went to San Diego, L.A. to play the Chargers, got smacked. When we went to San Francisco to play the 49ers, got smacked. The other game we lost was versus the Eagles. They didn't smack us, but that defense didn't show up. The offense thankfully did, but that Eagles defense is trash. So we got to show the world and the NFC North that, hey, this is our division, that we are here to stay, and that we are trying to get that first round bye. All right? That's all I got to say on that, man. We out.